This is episode 9 of 10. The last episode was focused on leadership. Now explore the dynamic interplay of direct and indirect methods, the continuous maneuvers leading to victory. Let us begin. Now, many people hear my name and they think my teachings are all about overwhelming force, about clashing armies and big, grand battles. But, well, they are mistaken. Today's lesson isn't about brute strength. It's about something much more subtle, much more powerful, the art of strategic maneuvering. It's all about the mind of the general. I'm going to teach you the path to a victory that is won long before the first blow is ever struck. You must let this sink in. This is the one truth you have to grasp before anything else makes sense. You see, war is not just a contest of who is stronger. It's a contest of perception. Victory is born from this direction. When you are able to attack, you must seem unable. When you are near, you must make the enemy believe you are far, far away. Deception is the canvas, and strategy is the art you paint upon it. So in any conflict, there are really only two fundamental ways to attack. The first is what we call the direct method, or zheng. The second is the indirect, which I call qi. These are the two forces a commander has to work with, and understanding them, well, that is the beginning of all wisdom. Let's break down what each of these forces does. The direct, the jing, that's the orthodox. It's the expected move, the obvious confrontation. You use it to engage your opponent to fix them in place. But it is the indirect, the qi. That's the unexpected, the surprise maneuver that actually secures your victory. Remember this? The direct force gets you into the battle, but it's the indirect force that wins it. Look, any commander can meet force with force. That's simple. A master of strategy, though, understands the indirect. It is through the clever use of surprise and deception that you create an advantage out of nothing. This is how you shatter an enemy's will to fight without getting dragged into a costly head-on battle. Now, a big mistake is to think of these two forces as a choice. Should I be direct or indirect? That's a novice's error. The direct and the indirect are not separate choices. They are two parts of a single whole, constantly flowing into one another in an unending circle. Think about it like this. A direct attack pins the enemy down, right? And what does that do? It creates the opportunity for an indirect move to strike at a weak point. Then, that surprise strike might become the new direct point of engagement, which in turn creates an opening for another indirect attack. You see? These forces are never static. They are always in motion. Just think about the infinite potential here. There are only 5 primary colors, yet when you combine them, they produce more hues than can ever be seen. There are only 5 musical notes, but they give rise to more melodies than can ever be heard. It's the same in strategy. There are only 2 methods of attack, but their combination, it gives rise to an endless series of maneuvers. This cycle is as fundamental and as powerful as nature itself. It's unending, like the flow of a river. One ends only so the other can begin, just like the sun and the moon. They pass away only to return, just like the 4 seasons. To master strategy, you have to master this natural, endless rhythm. So, we've understood the principle. Now let's turn to how you actually use it. To speak of the indirect is really to speak of deception. So let me share with you how to turn these abstract ideas into a real, tangible victory on the battlefield. Heed these core teachings. First, pretend to be weak so that your enemy may grow arrogant and careless. Second, if his forces are united and strong, you must find a way to separate them. Third, attack him not where he is strong, but where he is completely unprepared. And fourth, appear not where he is watching, but where you are least expected. This is the heart of the indirect art. This is the result you're aiming for. The whole purpose of your indirect maneuvers, of all your deception, is to build up potential energy, like water behind a giant dam. You create tension, you find the weak point, and then you release all your force in a single, overwhelming onrush that simply cannot be stopped. But all that immense energy is totally useless without precision. Your timing has to be perfect. The quality of your decision must be like the well-timed swoop of a falcon. A falcon spots its prey and it dives with unerring accuracy. Your decision to strike has to be just as swift, just as prompt, and aimed at the precise point that will shatter your opponent's will of fight. And now we arrive at the final lesson for today. This is the distinction that separates a mere fighter from a victorious general. It's the difference between simple tactics and true evolved strategy. It is about learning to see what lies beyond the battlefield right in front of you. Your enemy. Even your own soldiers, they'll see the direct engagement. They'll see the surprise flank maneuver. These are the visible tactics. But what they will not see is the invisible design, the unseen strategy that created the conditions for those tactics to succeed in the first place. True mastery lies in shaping this unseen world. So I will leave you with this challenge. In your own conflicts, in your own endeavors, whatever they are, don't be mesmerized by the visible moves you see on the surface. Look deeper. Look for the interplay of the direct and the indirect. Search for that unseen design out of which true success is born. The real question is, can you see it? Weave your maneuvers skillfully. For our final lesson, join me in episode 10 on the invisible edge, spies and foreknowledge.
This has been another dispatch from the Dead Expert Society. The dead have spoken, but what say the living? Let us know below.